Many times you've looked at a plot structure before. We're going to actually be applying plot structure to the novel that we're reading in our next video. But this is a review to make sure that you know the major parts of a plot and that you can draw a plot diagram. Before we go any farther, let's take a look at our lesson objectives so that you understand what I need you to be able to do by the time this video is done. All right? So, the first objective is you're going to label the parts of a plot diagram. The second objective is that you can define the parts of a plot, so you'll understand what those labels mean. All right, so that's the purpose of this video. Let's actually start defining it. You obviously need your notes at this point. All right, the very beginning of your plot diagram is just a single line sort of going out, and you can see it right there. This part of the diagram is called the exposition. So go ahead and draw and label that. The next part is called the rising action. So draw and label that part. Next, you have the climax. This part of the plot diagram is called the falling action. And last, you have this part of the plot diagram, which is called the resolution or conclusion. So pause this video and label all the parts and draw your plot diagram. Now let's actually talk about what these labels mean. I'm sure you've heard of them before, but I want you to know what I expect you to know so that you'll be ready for our open note quiz and for the midterm and all that good stuff. So here we go. The first part, the exposition, this is where the scene is set. It describes the characters and the setting. Next, the rising action, just like it implies with the line going upward, this is where your conflict builds. So this is where you're on the edge of your seat, you're full of tension, the music would be increasing in intensity, so it's driving towards the climax, which is the turning point. It's the highest point of interest. It's where the events abruptly change. After the climax, you have your falling action, as we said in the last slide. And what this is it's the effects of the climax. It's what happens after the highest point of interest. And just like the line implies, the falling action tends to be less intense. And then you have your resolution or conclusion. And this is where, you have your resolution or conclusion. And this is where the struggle ends. It ties up any loose ends, sort of ending that plot arc. In our next video, we're going to think about where all of these things fall in the refugee camp, and you're going to define that. But make sure before you end this video that you have 1, label the parts of a plot diagram, and 2, that you know what each of those labels means. Thanks a lot.